This is the Volvo wheel loader, a 40-ton wheel loader, and they've got a large grip for loading logs. So you can unload a whole truckload with that kind of equipment. Okay, let's just try it. Those of you who looked at the live stream also saw the new truck. Volvo is a new licensing partner. They've got a lot of cool new and also old machinery. So this is an old Volvo truck from the late 1980s that made it into the game with a lot of configurable features. For instance, the light and so on. Okay, back to the L200H. Let's just unload this truck. We open the gripper and you just have to practice a bit. Now we can put that onto the freight train. You do know the freight train from other maps, but this one is a bit new. We've got some block trailers. It's always a bit difficult to talk and drive at the same time. It looks good. And you can just actually sell the logs outside the map, or can also take them to the sawmill. Or you can just have the logs converted into timber. And the front cars are for pallets. You can load the timber onto the train and sell them, or just actually take them onto another map. Okay, there are a few more logs left, and the gripper it's not just when you actually close the gripper, you've got two additional grabs, and if it's not completely filled, you've got the additional grabs or clamps to just actually keep the logs in place, but this one is trying to escape anyway. Okay, that is quite good. We don't have any sound, by the way, because the sound of this feature is quite cool. You can't hear it. So this is the next machine I also showed you on the live stream, two John Deere machines. This is a feller buncher. It's a bit different from the harvesters, which can just actually take a full tree. This one is a bit different. It's mainly used in the US. It's a feller buncher. And they can actually take more than one, and you can put them wherever you need them. So you just actually have to actually grab the tree, and the saw will actually cut off the trunk, and then you've got a smaller gripper at the top. And this enables you to take 2 trees at a time if the trees aren't too big. But this is not for hilly terrain. It's rather for an even surface. You just actually have to approach the tree in a straight line. Now you can just actually put them down by pressing a button, and the trees will just fall to the ground. Now I'll show you how to actually drag them from the forest. Some similar components. And this is a skidder by John Deere. It's usually used to drag long trunks from the forest. So you have to find the trees first. Now we can just actually grip them and before processing them. And as soon as you have grabbed a tree trunk, you can also rotate the gripper freely. So we just actually drag them out onto the trail. So we'll just put them here. This was the second machine. And now a novelty which has not been on display in the stream. And let's just take this chainsaw to harvest some trees. It's a bit cooler. So we've got a steep slope here. And it would be very hard to drive up here with a harvester, for instance, in alpine regions. So a lot of felling has to be done manually, and then they have to be dragged out of that slope. Now we've got some sound. So, well, we've got a little device, and we can just actually attach it to the rope and pull it up. So I can go uphill all the way. It's a bit like a little cable car.
I've played with that, so I'm pretty fast. Let's move it up a bit. Here's our harvester that is prepared. So we saw the tree, take the branches off and load it on the truck. The whole system is kind of like a cable ordered based system. It's used in alpine region. It's made by Kohler, They are based in Austria, where it's often used, and it facilitates chopping down trees on steep slopes where it's extremely difficult to use a harvester or forwarder. And chance to tip over is relatively large, and here this cable system works quite well. We release the log and we have it here. The skid or the sled upstairs can be moved by the player manually. We can attach the tree in any position or even multiple trees. We can pull up the tree as we like. And then it's ready for us here. This is the Ponzi Crowbar. You may be aware of it. It's a regular base camp vehicle, a normal harvester. It is used to chop down trees standing up. And there were many requests to pick up trees that are on the ground that can be cut into pieces and debranched, and let's try to pick up the log. It's not so easy. It'll be automatically gripped, moves the tree into the position where it was cut, and so the defined meters can be cut. Previously, it had been the case that length from 1 to 10 meters were used, and they could be separated by meter steps. We adjusted that because we have machinery for long logs, and it's good to have other options. We don't increase that in a linear way. We have 3, 5, 6, 8, 12, 15, 20 meters. Sometimes the tree is not chopped into pieces, but used as a whole. I have my trailer perfectly situated. Let's try. Theoretically, we can load it directly on the trailer, or we can also stack them and then pick them up by a truck, as you like. The machinery stays in the position. We can pick up the next log, or we move the implement backwards. This function is not only available for DLC. The cutting length that are different are features that will be available in Basecamp. We don't need the DLC for it, actually. Can also be used for mods. Must be included especially, but that would work. I can show you how you erect the cable system. This is in the park position. The cables are all wound. I can erect the tree, and we're trying to find the appropriate tree. We can change the position if we want to have it higher, so there aren't any collisions in between. And the cable system is tensioning the cable towards it. A belt is wrapped around the tree in order to fix it. We have support elements that doesn't cause the truck and the machinery to tip over. In reality, they are attached to other trees or stumps, trunks, There's no tree adjacent, so we attach them to seal hooks. If there are trees, it looks for trees to attach and positions its way accordingly. Here you can see how the cables are wound, and depending on how you move it. So the coil is moving and winds the cable, and then it can be operated. Let's go to the next and last vehicle. The Impex comes into play. Here we have chosen the biggest model. This used to be an excavator. It has been remodeled to a harvester, not a little one, as is 50 tons, and it's designed to remove trees that are standing up. The upper arm, it is used to grip and hold the tree, and it doesn't collapse automatically but remains vertically in the harvester head. It's beneficial if you have smaller trees nearby and you can't approach them, or you don't want to harm the soil. You can go on a farm road or a forest road, go into the trees and pull out the tree without having to move the vehicle into it. So that's all new. We haven't had it before. Both grip are open. The upper can be operated manually. It usually automatically opens and closes when we harvest the tree. I don't know what's going on here. Worked amazingly well. It was only by the push of button, and the excavator moved automatically towards the tree. Let me show it again. There's a little sign or marker in the tree, and it looks for the tree that is in best positioned, and it tries to automatically align the machinery, and as soon as it's green, it's in an area where he can chop down the tree and it can saw it. Then the upper gripper attaches the tree, and we lift the tree standing up. And we can decide where we wanted to have the tree. The upper gripper can be controlled individually. Let's say we place the tree here, push the button, the tree is ejected, and we can also cut it to length like with a normal harvester. The cutting lengths that are new, 6-meter trees we're talking about, and here you can see how it works. Then it automatically moves back. The head can be rotated, the trees can be picked up again and dusted off. Then we move it up again, or drive the vehicle to the next tree. We see the marker or the marking, and everything works automatically. This is also part of the easy arm control function, where the crane is used on 3D axis without having to control the function. If you wanted to have that help, let's take the tree now and place it where we want. If you don't want to saw the tree at all, but only take the debris off. It'll be completely clean. That's a very long tree. We never saw it, but whatever we want to do with it, sell it whole, for example. A novelty I wanted to show you. You can see the great sound. We have an extra sound for the chains. Sounds very realistic. You hear a little squeak of the chains. I'm a big fan of the sound effects. There's another novelty that we have included. We saw it at the Vermeer pack. The round baler can turn around standing up. Excavators can do the same thing. And we saw that it was just having a turning capacity of such and such, and here if you push the buttons to steer it, one chain is rotating forward, the other one is rotating backwards, and then it turns on its axis. That's basically it. That's the last machine I wanted to show you. There are a couple more in DLC, and there's a bunch of cool stuff. Thank you for following my presentation and your attention, and there's time for questions.